I never thought my own foreman would throw me under the bus like that. But when the client pointed at my work and said those words, everything I'd built for 10 years came crashing down in seconds. My name is Marcus Thompson, and I've been a master carpenter for legacy construction in Atlanta for over a decade. I'm talking precision work, custom staircases, hand-carved mantels, the kind of craftsmanship that turns houses into homes. My grandfather taught me this trade when I was 8 years old, working with wood in his North Carolina workshop. Every summer, I'd watch his weathered hands transform raw timber into something beautiful. It's in my blood. That Tuesday morning started like any other. I arrived at the Riverside Estate project at 6 a.m., thermos of coffee in hand, ready to install the main staircase I'd been building for 3 months. Solid oak. Every baluster is hand-turned. Every joint is perfect. It was my masterpiece. The kind of work that made my grandfather proud. Even though he'd passed 5 years ago, I could still hear his voice. Son, let your hands speak when your voice can't. Around 10 a.m., the clients arrived, Mr. and Mrs. Whitmore, an older couple relocating from Connecticut. I was in the middle of sanding the final newel post when I heard their expensive shoes clicking across the subflooring. My foreman, Derek, a guy I trained 2 years ago, rushed over to greet them. I wiped the sawdust off my hands and walked over to introduce myself. Marcus Thompson, ma'am, sir. I'm the lead carpenter on your staircase project. Mrs. Whitmore's smile tightened. She looked past me, straight at Derek. Is he supervising? Derek cleared his throat. Marcus is one of our crew members, yes. One of the crew members? I felt my jaw clench. I designed the staircase. I built every piece of it. Mr. Whitmore walked around the partially installed structure, running his hand along the railing. We're paying top dollar for this. We were told we'd have your best craftsmen. You do, sir, I said calmly. This staircase. Derek, Mr. Whitmore interrupted, not even looking at me. I need to know this is being done right. We can't have any shortcuts. The word hung in the air like poison. Derek shifted uncomfortably. Mr. Whitmore, I can assure you. I've seen the work some of these guys do, Mrs. Whitmore added, her eyes finally landing on me. Rushing through jobs, cutting corners. We need guarantees. My hands were shaking now. 10 years. 10 years of perfect work, and this woman was looking at me like I was incompetent because of the color of my skin. My chest felt tight. I thought about all the late nights I'd spent in the workshop, perfecting each curve, each angle, the splinters embedded in my fingers, the aching back from bending over my workbench, all of it dismissed in a single glance. Ma'am, I said, keeping my voice steady. Every joint in the staircase is hand-cut. The wood is kiln-dried premium oak. I can show you my portfolio. Derek handles our documentation. She cut me off. Then she turned to him. I want you overseeing this personally, not delegating to anyone else. That's when Derek said the words that broke something inside me. Of course, Mrs. Whitmore. I'll make sure it's done properly. I'll be handling the finished work myself. I finished work. The work I'd already completed 90% of. He was erasing me. Right in front of me. I opened my mouth to speak, but Derek shot me a warning look. Marcus, why don't you start cleaning up the workshop? Cleaning up the workshop? I'm not a day laborer. I'm a master carpenter. The Whitmores walked away, satisfied. Derek turned to me. Don't make this a thing, Marcus. Just let me smooth this over. Smooth what over? I did the work. They're uncomfortable, okay? Just let them see me at the end, and everyone's happy. Everyone except me. He lowered his voice. You want to keep your job? Then let it go. I stood there, surrounded by the evidence of my skill, my craftsmanship, my years of dedication, and I felt invisible. Completely invisible. Like I was a ghost haunting my own creation. My throat burned with words I couldn't say. My eyes stung with frustration I had to swallow. This wasn't just about one staircase. This was about every time I'd been overlooked, underestimated, assumed to be less capable. Every time I'd had to work twice as hard to get half the recognition. I was packing up my tools an hour later when I heard new voices in the house. I recognized one of them immediately, Vincent Caruso, the owner of Legacy Construction, my actual boss. And he wasn't alone. So this is the famous staircase. A woman's voice echoed through the space. Vincent, you weren't exaggerating. This craftsmanship is extraordinary. I walked back into the main room and froze. Vincent was there with a woman I recognized from the news, Angela Richardson, the architecture critic from Atlanta magazine. She was running her fingers along my handiwork, her eyes wide with genuine appreciation. Where's Marcus? Vincent called out. Marcus Thompson, there you are. Angela, this is the artist I was telling you about. Artist. Not a crew member. Not a worker. Artist. My heart was pounding. The Whitmores had returned, standing awkwardly near the door. I could see the recognition dawning on their faces. Angela pulled out her phone, taking photos. Mr. Thompson, this joinery work. I haven't seen this level of detail outside of museum restorations. How long have you been doing this? 10 years professionally, ma'am. But I learned from my grandfather. I'm featuring this in next month's issue. She interrupted, excited. The staircase, the craftsmanship, the story. This is what real American artisanship looks like. Vincent beamed. Marcus is the reason we won the contract for this estate. I showed Whitmore's his portfolio specifically. I watched Mrs. Whitmore's face go pale. Her husband looked at the floor. Angela turned to them. You're so lucky to have his work in your home. Seriously, this will add tremendous value. Marcus Thompson's pieces are becoming collectible. The silence was deafening. Derek looked like he wanted to disappear into the subflooring. Later that afternoon, Vincent pulled me aside. Derek told me what happened. That's not how we do business. I'm reassigning him. But honestly, I didn't care about Derek anymore. What mattered was that moment when Angela Richardson saw my work, not my skin color. When she recognized the hours, the precision, the love I put into every cut, every joint, every curve. The Whitmores apologized awkwardly before they left. I accepted it with a nod, but I didn't forgive it. Some things you don't forget. That staircase. It got featured in Atlanta magazine. Then Architectural Digest picked it up. I started getting calls from clients all over the country. But I still think about that Tuesday morning. About how quickly someone tried to erase me. About how I almost let them. I think about the young black craftsman coming up behind me, facing the same assumptions, the same doubt, the same invisible walls. And I realize my grandfather was right. Sometimes your hands have to speak louder than words ever could. If there's anything I want you to take from this, it's simple. Your work speaks for itself, but sometimes you have to make sure people are actually listening. Don't let anyone make you invisible. Don't let anyone steal your story. And if they try, make sure your craftsmanship is so undeniable that the truth comes out anyway. Because in the end, quality always reveals itself. And so does the truth.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a comment. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Black Diaries. Your support brings us closer to our goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers.